Elizabeth Sampson, the Doodle Nurse, and today we have another watercolor tutorial. I want you to join me. Bring your pencil, your fine line black pen, it's water resistant, your watercolor pencils, your eraser, and your watercolor paper, along with a brush and water. For everything that I'll be using today in this tutorial, you can find in the description box below. So what are you waiting for? Come on in.
And we start sketching with our pencil. So I have a mechanical pencil here. It really doesn't matter what type of pencil you want to use. You just want a fine line so that you can erase it easily. So if you're using a heavier pencil, then make sure that you are pressing very lightly. And the shape we're starting with the head is not quite a circle and not quite an oval. There is a little shape to this head. So I would say kind of like it's a roundness that is pinched on the sides a little bit. So hopefully you can see this. I know you're going to be able to really see it once we put the fine line marker. And as you come down for the front legs, they're just a line with a curve at the bottom, and I'm going to put a back leg in here. So I'm just going to start towards the head, come down and slant out and round the bottom for like a foot area. And the other one we're going to start a little lower down on the body. So hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to erase that front leg line that I have there, because when I ink it in, I'm not going to want to put the whole thing in there. And then I'm going to start with the ears. So towards the side of the head, I'm just going to make a wavy shape, bigger on the top than the bottom, and curve it back until it reaches the head. And I'm going to make a little line so you can see the distinction between the inside of the ear and the outside of the ear. And then I'm going to start with the trunk, and I am starting with the bottom of the trunk first, because I do not want this little elephant to have a long trunk. And I start with, it's kind of like a funnel shape. If you see, I start with the bottom and then come to the top. And on each side of the end of that trunk, I'm going to put a circle or an oval for the eyes. And I will put a highlight area in there, which is just a smaller circle on the top. And 3 lines to distinguish the wrinkles in the nose area. And don't forget your eyebrows. They have to have little eyebrows. So I'm going to start with the elephant number 2. And this elephant is going to be like the older sister. And I'm just starting with the top shape of the head. This shape is going to be similar to the smaller one, only I'm not going to connect where the ears are. So we're doing like a wide U for the bottom shape of the head. And on top you see it's like a curved area for the top of the head. We're going to do the same thing for the front legs. We're just going to come down and wrap around the bottom, and the same thing for the other leg in the front. So it's like they're sitting in the same area. And we're going to make the legs the same exact way, only this leg I am making is behind the other elephant. So I'm not going to complete the whole leg. And the other leg is out to the side, same as the baby elephant that I created. I'm going to start with the older sister with her ears on her head, and I'm going to make them a little bit more floppy than the baby's ears. But I'm going to do the same thing by putting the line where you can see the inside of the ear versus the outside of the ear. And we're going to do the similar thing with her trunk, only I know I want hers a little bit longer. So I start on her face, and I'm going to taper it down as I get to the bottom of the trunk. I don't know how else to tell you to do this, but I'll erase the line that is in the head. And now I start with her eyes, and it's just like the eyes we did the other week. We're going to start with a curved arch for the top and 3 little lashes on the side. But this time we're going to put a bottom on it, make a circle into the eye for the bottom of the eye. And of course I erase it because I think it's a little bit too high on her face. When you're doing a childlike version, you want the eyes to be lower on the head. That gives it its cute appearance. So you can see I have a dome shape, a half circle with 3 little lines for eyelashes, and we're just going to make another half circle underneath for her eyeball area. And 2 little eyebrows. And we're going to put 3 lines on the nose. Now, since she is the older sister, I'm going to give her a headband of flowers and leaves to wear. So I start with a flower in the center of the top portion of her head, and I will extend the leaves from there. So you see the circle for the flower and then the petals on the flower. And then I'll start with the leaves off to the side. And I'm just going to recreate this as it goes across the top of her head. So you can see I'm just making little stems for where the leaves are going to go, and I'm going to add a few leaves and another on the other side, and I'll put 2 flowers, one on each outside of this little headband for her. And I guess that's the distinguishing feature between her and her little brother, who has a tuft of hair on his head. When I ink this in, you'll be able to see what exactly I'm talking about. I know it's hard to see the pencil lines, but when we put color on it, you'll even be able to see it better than just the pencil or just the ink. So that's what it looks like. And now we're going to start with our fine line water resistant marker. And it's important to have a water resistant marker because I am using watercolors, and I do not want the marker to run on my work while I put the water on with the watercolors. So you can see the little elephant's tuft of hair. Now when I'm starting to ink and put the ink on, I take note as to where the lines overcross, and I want to make sure that I leave a space because I don't want to overlap what you would not see normally, as I put the color in. So you can see here I do the top and the ear and the bottom, and then I skip the space on the head, and I'm just going to put the top line in where I distinguish the front of the ear, the top of the ear, and the inside of the ear. And I do the same for the other side. Hopefully you'll understand what I mean. When it comes down to doing the trunk, I do the same thing. I stop where I'm using the ink for the head, and I make sure the trunk is popped out in front of the head instead of in back. Hopefully that makes sense. If it does, comment below, let me know if you understand what I'm telling you. I'm hoping to figure out how to do this live on YouTube so that I am able to tell you in real time what I'm doing instead of doing this in a pre-made video for you. But until then, you can catch me on my Facebook Lives, and you can also catch me on Periscope Live. I'll try to get to 1,000 followers so I can use my phone for live streaming. Until then, I still have to figure out if there's a way for me to be capable of doing that on YouTube with just the cameras that I have available to me. If you guys are getting benefit out of this tutorial, please comment below and let me know. Also, if there's anything you'd like to see in the future, please comment that below as well. I would love to hear from you. This little elephant was requested by Ann Jensen Photography. So she has a YouTube channel. She has frequented my channel, and she is the one that has requested that I do a baby elephant. So I have 2 of them here for you. I hope you enjoy these tutorials, and if you'd like, if you are subscribed to this channel, you can submit your drawings to me, either on direct message them to me or on my email or my website, elizabethsampson.com, and I can hang them on the YouTube wall of art. Those for my subscribers. You can see I have a few up there now of people that have submitted them in. I just ask that you're subscribed to the channel and you write a little testimony of how this tutorial was for you and if you were able to create this with ease. That is my goal. I hear so much from people that they can't draw, and so I would like to know if that's something that you say you can't draw, and if you've tried any of these tutorials and if you're able to do them, what was the difference? I really believe taking action is the key. If you say you can't do something, obviously you're not going to be able to do it. But if you give yourself the time and attention to try a project like drawing, which is very relaxing and it's a healing process, then you will be able to create something that's one of a kind that you created by hand, and you will get the healing benefits along with the drawing. So if you're one of those people that say that you can't draw, I want to hear that in the comment section below, and let me know if you're going to try this tutorial. Now, so far this is real time. I have not sped up the video at all. So you can see it doesn't take very long to create something once you break it down into simple shapes. So whenever you see something you want to recreate and draw, my suggestion to you is to break it down in simple shapes to be able to recreate it for yourself. That makes drawing a little bit easier and not overwhelming than looking at the whole picture at once and trying to figure out how are you going to make these lines. So when you break things down into simple shapes, you will be able to recreate anything that you look at. Now we're almost done with the fine line marker, and we're going to go off to the watercolors, and then I will speed up this process. But I want you to see just how long it takes to be able to draw from a pencil sketch to put your fine line markers on without having to fast forward. So once you have the baseline of what you're drawing down in a sketch with a pencil, you can just go over your lines to recreate it. And if you see something that doesn't look exactly right to you, you can adjust your lines at that time. That is the fun about being able to pencil sketch before you actually put the ink on the paper. Now I don't want to forget to give the big sister her little highlights in her eyes as she glares at her little brother. You can see the expression on her face. So when you're all done with the water resistant marker, make sure it has dried, and then you want to go over and you want to erase all your pencil lines before you put your watercolor pencils on your paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this. You can stop this video, look at the drawing, and recreate anything that you haven't seen before we put the watercolor pencils on. Begin with our watercolor pencils. And I'm going to fast forward it from here on, so you can stop this if you'd like to go over it again. But I'm going to start with my gray for my elephant, and then I'm going to put the water on and blend all those lines that you see with the pencil. So don't worry if you see a lot of lines with the pencil. And then I use a soft pink in the ear and on the feet. And I'll do that with the other elephant as well. They will have the same, and I will blend it in with the water. This is so much fun. If you want to know what kind of watercolor pencils or this brush that I have, it's in the description box below, along with the watercolor paper that I have used. And of course, I used the marker again for the eyes, as you can see. That is a black colored pencil on the tuft of hair for the little elephant that I used. And then on the flowers, I use a dark purple, a light purple, a dark purple, same with the leaves. And I use the dark gray to go back in and put shading in the areas that need shading on the little elephants. And here you can see the finished elephant. I think both of them turned out really cute. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial of the baby elephants, and make sure to catch the other tutorials that I have available.
I want to hear from you. Was this tutorial easy? Please put that in the comment section below. Did you like this video? Did you give it a thumbs up? Did you comment? And did you subscribe? I'd love to have you around here. So guys, I want you to check out these 2 tutorials here and subscribe to this channel. And we'll see you next week for another watercolor tutorial.